What's the new news? Google to target criticism of Islam in new censorship purge. They announced yesterday they're going to censor anything they claim is fake news, anything that's critical, anything that's hurtful, anything that they don't think is pertinent. Oh, it's not pertinent, your opinion or your view. I mean, not even something that they see as anti-establishment. This is a desperation move. Website that describes Islam as intolerant, listed as example of upsetting or offensive. So if something upsets you, millions pouring across the borders, the murders, the rapes, the imams saying your women belong to us, you're weak, we're going to conquer you, the fact that they've bought off our leadership. Don't show photos of them saying behead those who insult Islam. Oh yeah, in England, they send the police to your house if you go to an Islamic event outdoors where they're having a demonstration and show them saying we're going to take over and kill you, we're going to enslave you. You're bad for showing them saying that. So Google now, what started 5 years ago in Germany, I've told people 1,000 times or more, every week, almost every day. I say everything you see in Europe will be brought here next. This is a global rollout. Infowars.com. Google to target criticism of Islam in new censorship purge. We're going to get more of that. That ties into this. Judge considers ordering President Trump to double 50,000 refugees inflow to the United States. Citing the UN, folks. It's the UN refugee program that already dictated what we would take. We would just accept them, and they're, quote, vetting that Syrians, that really weren't even Syrians, people coming out of areas of Palestine, the West Bank, people coming out of Libya, that's a failed state, Sudan, a failed state. Of course, the big one, Somalia, totally failed road warrior state. And now, inverting reality, the judges aren't just the executives or the legislative or the judicial. They're just God and say, you will. I have the statement of the judge. You're going to let more in, Mr. President. Not only does the president, under law, have the authorization to block these people, now the judge says, oh, no, you're going to have a quota, just like the EU and the UN. Google this. EU threatens France, Germany, the Netherlands. Just search. EU threatens member states with fines for not increasing the migrants. 5 million the last 4 years, at least. And that's not enough. The UN, over and over again, is threatening giant fines. In fact, search this. EU and UN. EU threatens fines on UK for not letting in more refugees. EU threatens member states with fines over failure to accept refugees. Boom. Zero hedge. And then it links through to a bunch of mainstream news articles, Yahoo News, Associated Press. It's all right there. You see, and we are now under the exact same program. Under Obama, just 3 months ago, he accelerated the number. And remember, out of Latin America, it was all the Islamists and others coming in Latin America, Central America. They were down there, the UN running the refugee program, telling us who to bring in. That's UN control. It isn't UN soldiers we're going to face. It's just UN regulation and control. So here it is. Judge considers ordering President Trump to double 50,000 refugees. A demand by the judge that the federal government airbus in an extra 50,000 immigrants, including many adherents of Islam Sharia law, which says they'll overthrow our law, into American neighborhoods, would be an unusual intervention into government roles normally left to the elected president and Congress. That's a nice way of saying it at Breitbart. And it just goes on and on and on. And the judges are now issuing executive orders. I didn't know they were the executive branch, but I guess that's it. Again, it's a total lawless rebellion. The VA says, we're not hanging up pictures of the president or the VA head. Congressman goes there with the proper size picture, hangs it up, they take it down. And just say, hey, we run this country. You understand? Sit down and shut up. We want to give ICBM technology to the Chi-Coms? We're giving it to them. You want to give atomic weapon production facilities to North Korea? We're doing it. You want us to open up Europe's borders, bring in 5 million, 80% military-age men? They're allowed to rape, kill, murder whoever they want? We're doing it. And we're going to teach your 5-year-old they're not really a boy, they're a girl. We're going to teach your girl they're really a boy. And by the way, the atrazine, all the other chemicals in the water, in every major study in mammals, amphibians, you name it, shows it creates asexualization. Your kid gets confused, wonders why they're a beta. then the school gets involved sexually with your kids and tells them, go to this special class, and they induct them into the new 100 genders. It was 50 genders just a year ago. And then they say you're against people that are a different gender, or people that identify as being a dog or a baby, or a 50-year-old man says they're a 6-year-old kid, so they want to play with your daughter. This is mental illness to bring down the society, and they admit it, and there's countless white papers. Does it mean I hate somebody that was, you know, there's always been effeminate men and stuff like that in history. The statistics, I have numbers here today. The number of children wanting to become opposite sex doubling each year in Sweden, say doctors. Within only 15 years, the majority would have switched sexes. And then you notice, though, they can't procreate. Mission completed. That's an exponential growth curve. Your kids don't learn how to be successful. They learn how to die, how to not have children. Meanwhile, they bring in absolute, lawless groups that openly believe, and their imams have told them, are here to conquer. Judges inventing new reasons to obstruct Donald Trump's popular immigration reforms that are lawful. Turkey threatens to send 15,000 refugees per month into Europe to, quote, blow its mind as part of an announcement by their foreign secretary to the EU and by Erdogan. We covered this yesterday. There's new reports today, new statements, new arrogance, saying, quote, we are launching our holy war now and will capture Europe. Just on Monday, I said all these political rallies they're holding in major cities saying vote for people back in Turkey, that's just mobilizing their political forces inside your countries. And now Erdogan admits it and says, we weren't just trying to rally. You are weak. You will bow down politically. They know. They know the cuckold, broke-back Germans and French and others won't just bend over themselves. They'll bend over their families. They'll throw people out of their homes. It's happening in Italy. Can we show you the video of the 80-something-year-old man in his little hotel being thrown out crying for the North African refugees? 2 men have throats slit in Paris. Attacker yells, Allah Akbar. But the government says it's not Islamic. Just like the Hatchet attack they just ruled wasn't. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Man held after his father and brother found with their throats slit in Paris. Meanwhile, the feds, still under globalist control, that the Justice Department are saying they're trying to clean house there, that they may try to block Montana's controversial law, a bill advancing in Montana, not yet a law, that says you can't have foreign government laws over federal, state, or local laws. That's just common sense. It bans the application of foreign laws in Montana. So that's all coming up. I'm going to go back into that more. But don't worry, even the Miami Herald now sounds like InfoWars and criticizes communism, which is unheard of nowadays. Venezuela has a bread shortage. The government has decided bakers are the problem and is arresting them en masse. Just like any other communist country, giant lines, no food, starvation, but lots of people with badges. But no real rule of law. A government of conquest, not of renaissance, just like North Korea.